Hey, this is Evan Marquez, dating coach for smart, strong, successful women and your personal trainer for love. Welcome back to the Love You podcast, where you're going to learn everything you need to know about dating, relationships, sex, and men from a man's point of view. Except today we're taking a little bit of a turn. The title of today's podcast is How Your Bedroom's Decor May Be Secretly Sabotaging Your Love Life. And I'm interviewing a woman named Bumi Kristen. I have a bio here, but I never start with the bio. I start with the story. I got an email from Bumi, completely out of the blue, that just knocked my socks off. She's really smart. She's really experienced at what she does. And I've never met anybody quite like her. She is wise and has the arrogance to do big, exciting new things and the humility to invest in herself and do a lot of self-help. She's extremely generous with her information. The amount that you're going to learn in a really short period of time is great. And unlike a lot of the guests that I've had who are other dating coaches who are friends of mine here in Los Angeles, Bumi does something that I don't do that is relevant to your life, which is why I'm really excited to share her wisdom with you today. The official bio says, Bumi Kristen is known as America's design psychologist. She's a licensed architect, interior designer, accredited green building professional, and pioneer in design psychology. For over 20 years, she's designed and built buildings ranging from multi-million-dollar hotels, offices, schools, and condominiums to private homes, which are her greatest passion. Bumi is the founder of the Design Psychology Studio and the creator of the groundbreaking online programs Transform Your Home, Transform Your Mood, the new science of decorating your home to make you happy, calm, and productive and strengthen your relationships, and Magical Escape, the new science of decorating your bedroom to rejuvenate you and rekindle your romance. So there is a way that this does tie into love, and there are ways that I don't entirely understand, which is why I'm very excited to have as my guest Bumi Kristen. Hello, my dear. How are you?
Awesome, Evan. So excited to be here. You have a way of making someone feel special. Thank you for that intro.
That's the easy part of my job is I'm genuinely interested in people, and I'm genuinely interested in things that I don't know and don't understand. When I have an opportunity to not be the know-it-all and be the person who's learning, it's really a juicy opportunity for me. So thank you for being here. Because this is your big debut to the personal growth space and the relationship community, I'd love to just sort of introduce you the way you want to be introduced, not the biography, but rather the 2-minute story of how you became you and turned all this amazing life experience into something that women can experience themselves at home, how they get the benefit of 20 years of your wisdom. So how did you become you?
So let me go back a little bit then. I grew up in Africa. And in Africa, life is lived outdoors. I would walk along the country lanes at dawn. It's all peaceful and quiet. I would sit by a brook and just, exhale, get away from everything. And I would feel such a sense of tranquility, Evan. I can still remember it. Almost a near spiritual experience where I felt like a part of the great scheme of things. And I would wonder, why do I feel this way out in nature and not at home or anywhere else? Well, fast forward years later, as an architecture student in northern Italy, driving past this farmhouse with friends, it mysteriously tugged at my heartstrings. And I'm thinking, why does this farmhouse make me feel this way? Boom. Couple minutes later, I realized it's because it literally swept me years back to those carefree childhood days on my grandma's farmhouse. And you can imagine the types of feelings and memories that would unlock. Baking cupcakes with my mom, pillow fights with my sisters, and so on. And so I was like, wow, why does nature make me feel a certain way? Why do certain places tug at my heartstrings? And then on the other side, other places make me feel bad. Evan, I'm thinking right now of this apartment that I had shared with a friend while I went back to grad school in San Diego. It was pokey, small windows, the lingering smell of stale food, like yuck. It was comfortless. I I literally would feel as though the walls were closing in on me. So that was where everything began. Like, why do certain places make us feel good, make us feel romantic, make us feel tranquil, while others could make us feel tense or uncomfortable? And I said, is this coincidental? Or is there a way we can reverse engineer the way we feel in places? Can I reverse engineer the design of my home to make me feel a certain way? Can you, Evan, reverse engineer the design of your bedroom to make you feel romantic, make you and your wife feel romantic?
You should see my bedroom. One thing we have going for us, but maybe you could come and tell me that I'm wrong, but we like it. But no, that is really interesting. And I love the focus on feelings. It's one of the things that people in dating and relationships, and people who've been listening to me for a while, they often neglect their own feelings. We talk about women as emotional creatures, but they really sweep their feelings under the rug, and they'll stay in a relationship where they're anxious and needy and confused and don't feel safe, right? All because he looks good from the outside.
Oh my
but the feeling, that thing that brings up inside you, is not one of, this is home. And so you are literally talking about how to make a home feel like a home.
Oh my goodness, you have put it in excellent words. Because see, the main problem here is that conventional interior design, Evan, focuses on helping you to decorate your home or your bedroom to look good and of course function properly, right? But think about it for a second. Decorating your home to look good is superficial. That would be like choosing whom to date primarily based on the fact that they're hot, and then wondering why, like you said, they don't make you feel that great, or why your life might be in turmoil. So what I say to women is, how about choosing whom to date based primarily on the way they make you feel and the impact they have on your life? And how about decorating your home based primarily on the way it makes you feel and the impact it has on your life?
And I don't think that people stop to even think about that, which is why I find it so revolutionary and simple at the same time, right? Asking people to tap into their feelings and really, what feeling does being in this room evoke in you?
You got it. You got it.
I did have a question that's not on our script. I thought of it because you're talking about, I grew up in Africa, and I like things that reminded me of my grandmother's farmhouse, and it brought me back.
Right.
And that's very beautiful. People can identify that. I immediately start thinking of my past. The question is it universal, right? Your past is going to be different than someone else's past. How do you help someone interpret, right, the thing that's going to feel good to them? Because your farmhouse might feel very foreign to me, and if you decorate my place that way using the same, you know what I mean? Like it's very tricky to give one-stop shop advice to individuals. So how do you manage that?
Totally. So you hit the nail on the head. It's my work. My design philosophy is style neutral. It has nothing to do with style. It's based on your feelings and your feelings alone. So what I literally do is walk clients through a process where they go back and examine, it has to do with their past experiences, their preferences, their lifestyle. And at the end of the day, they come up with something that's totally theirs. Mm-hmm. That the clients have exclaimed like, oh my goodness, this space you've created for me resonates so deeply. This is the space I've longed for. I couldn't even articulate it, but you've brought it out from deep within me. That's the power of this.
And this is something that people can do on their own. They don't need to go hire some expensive interior decorator to, spring some magic pixie dust in their room that creates a more loving atmosphere and charge them 30 grand for that.
No, not even close. And see, you are a fantastic interviewer because you're so bringing this information out. No, you got it. See, what I've done, Evan, in the last several years is used this information to serve select high-end clients. But for the first time, what I want to do is take this information and make it available to everyone who cherishes a rich and beautiful lifestyle. So I've taken my 7 steps, which we may have time to talk about later, and I've translated them into 7 lessons and put them into this home study online program, the one you quoted earlier called Magical Escape, the new science of decorating your bedroom to rejuvenate you and rekindle your romance. You get a hold of that inexpensive program, you can do it by yourself. That's 20 plus years of experience right there for you.
Wow. How long did it take you to create that program? Because for me, my Love You program was the hardest thing I ever did, because I had 12 years of experience and all this stuff. And it was just trying to consolidate it and compress it and say, how do you give someone simple things that they can follow and digest? And it was a major project. And again, I can only imagine how you take 20 years of knowledge and consolidate it into an information product that is accessible and digestible to people who don't have this as their expertise.
Evan, like OMG, okay? Listen, I've built multi-million-dollar buildings from ground up, buildings that take 3-4 years to build, done everything. This, hands down, is the hardest thing I've ever done. I almost quit. Several times in the process, I almost quit. But you know why I didn't quit? It's because I recognize after all these years that because we human beings, how do I put this? We're driven by our psychology, right? So whenever you take psychology and you combine it with another important subject, it literally creates a paradigm shift in culture, almost a movement. Evan, think about, the Tony Robbins of this world that brought awareness to psychology and success, right? They're saying, look, if you're not successful here, it's not going to happen for you out there. Or the Deepak Chopras, who are pointing us to psychology and health, saying if you're not successful here, you're unlikely to be successful in your body as a whole. Or psychology and relationships, right? So my mission is to bring massive awareness to that important relationship between psychology and environment, or psychology and decor. And you know how important this is? When Oprah learned about some of the things that I'm sharing with you and will be sharing with you, she had a huge home decorating aha moment. It led her to immediately begin to overhaul the decor of her Santa Barbara mansion. And of course, you don't have to, that's just Oprah being Oprah, right? She's a billionaire. You don't have to do that, but that shows you how important this stuff is. It's the next big thing, literally.
I love it. From where I sit, right, your reality-based dating coach, that sounds a little extreme. Guy's going to come into your house. He liked you this before he got there, and he comes and he's like, no, I have to get away. That never happened to me. I once went into a woman's bedroom where she literally had a mattress on the floor, and we turned on the lights. There was a cockroach on the mattress.
Wow.
And I still stayed there because she brought me back to her bedroom, and what was I going to do? I was freaked out. So men have definitely a lower threshold for this, but I'm assuming there's something I don't know about how someone's bedroom decor can sabotage their love life. So educate me, Bumi. What am I missing here?
So here's a true story for you. A while back, I walked into this couple's bedroom, and Evan, immediately I said to myself, oh my gosh, if this marriage isn't already in trouble, this bedroom will do it. A marriage, mind you. And mind you, this was an expensively furnished bedroom in a fairly high-end home. And I hear you thinking, give me a break, Bumi. Couldn't have been that bad. No, it was. And unfortunately, it gets worse. Could
you paint a mental picture for us about what you saw? That if I feel like you're like the person who's like who could see the ghosts that no one else could see. They're there, but you're attuned to them. So what did you see that was such a red flag?
And I'll tell you some of those things in a minute. But let me tell you how that story ended. So, and again, just in case this is a little far-fetched for you, let me sort of lay the groundwork a little bit. We can all recall probably a restaurant that we went to that made us feel romantic. Cabana style booths, warm soft lights, mood music, a view, and so on.
Sure.
And you can also recall another restaurant you went to that made you feel blah. Maybe, bare chairs and tables, the kind you would get from a cheap party rental spot. There's the radio is blaring ratchet music. There's cars whizzing by. The lights are bright fluorescence. So we can all agree that our surroundings definitely help determine whether we feel romantic or not. So that's the basis there. Now back to that couple's story real quick to wrap it up. Unfortunately, I hate to say my hunch was right, because last I heard about them, they were divorced. And the guy was actually getting remarried with some sort of indecent haste. And again, I would love to talk some more about what that couple's bedroom looked like. It was about the colors, it was about the patterns, and whatnot. And that's great. But the fact really is, what I say to people, it's not so much even about what was wrong with that couple's bedroom, but what's likely wrong with your bedroom. And I don't mean you personally, because the majority of couples' bedrooms that I see, whether in real life, in magazines, on websites, and so on, are in some way sabotaging their relationship. And the worst part is they're clueless that this is going on.
All right. Well, the floor is yours. I mean, what are some common mistakes? What did you see in this horrific bedroom? It sounds like something out of a horror movie. Because I'm already feeling self-conscious, like, oh my God, maybe I'm doing it too.
What's going on? Okay, so let me go to step one of my program. The title is "This Popular Color May Be Sucking the Excitement Out of Your Life and Love Life." Okay, because again, it's not big things that perhaps the average person will walk into the room and see right away. It's color, it's the lighting, it's the materials, and so on. And so what my program does, I have 7 steps, and each one addresses a key part. So let's talk about color, for instance, which is one of the big offenses that this couple had, and which most other people have. So the lesson title is "This Popular Color May Be Sucking the Excitement Out of Your Life and Love Life." Now, statistics show that up to 80% of bedroom walls are painted white or beige. Let me pause for a second. What color are your bedroom walls? Let's just bust you right now, Evan. Okay.
I inherited this house. I mean, I bought this house and I didn't paint anything. And so if the walls are white or beige, then that's what my whole house is, white or beige.
Okay, so you're a culprit right there. Okay.
I knew it. I knew it. So we have things to offset that. We have like deep red velvet curtains, and we've got sexy art on the walls, but I guess we do have off-white walls. That is true.
Right. And your sexy stuff won't save you. I'll tell you why in a second. Okay, so statistics show that again, most bedrooms are painted white or beige because frankly, people are terrified of color. They're like, oh my gosh, how do I even know what color to pick? What if I paint the walls and the colors clash? And so they default to white or beige because, that's just easy.
And it's neutral. I mean, it makes a certain amount of sense.
There you go. No, absolutely. But we all know that white is the most sterile color there is, which is why it's used in hospitals and laboratories. White is emotionless. It's neutral. It's a blank slate. And beige, you know what the dictionary defines beige as? Plain, vanilla, ordinary. Trust me, your bedroom is the last place in the world where you want to have feelings of sterile, emotionless, plain, vanilla, ordinary.
Okay.
And knowing you, the prober you are, you'd probably say then, well, Bumi, what colors should I use in my bedroom? Well, so think about the word bedroom means a room for the bed, right? It means that the focus of the room is the bed or sleeping, which is mainly a nighttime event, right? Now, when you even go out for a romantic night on the town with your wife, what colors are you more likely to wear? Are you gonna wear like beige, khaki, baby blue, or do you wear rich, dark colors? I'll let you answer in a second, like wine red, black, charcoal, navy blue.
I had some stylists tell me what I should be wearing and what I shouldn't be wearing after I created my Love You program. And I found out that blues in general are the best color for me, and that I should avoid brown tones because I have kind of brownish skin.
Right.
And so I shouldn't do too many browns or earth tones, if you will.
Right. Yeah. So, and when you think about it, like when we go out for a romantic night on the town or when we go out at night, Think of, the little black dress. It's, those are the kinds of colors we wear at night for those types of events, because we instinctively know that those are the colors of the evening. As opposed to if you were going to a picnic in the park on a summer afternoon, would you wear your wine red gown or your black, dress? Probably not. You'd be looking at, khaki, mauve, soft colors. So we know these things instinctively with the way we dress, but we sort of forget them or neglect them in our bedrooms. So it's these same rich, warm, dark colors, the ones you wear out on a romantic night, the black tie, the little black dress, the wine red. These are the same colors that will recreate the mood of a romantic night in your bedroom.
So here I am learning that everything that I've ever done, I've been doing wrong, which is sort of story of my life. That's fine. I could take it. But you allude to colors for your bedroom that don't always sound like one would associate with the bedroom. Like you say rich, dark, warm colors.
Right.
A room. I once had a room. I once lived in a place where there was a room painted black, and it felt like I was in a dungeon. Like, is black too black?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do black outright. I think it's a bit extreme. And what I say to people though is you don't have to go super dark. You could even mid-tone colors will be an improvement on white or beige. You need rich, sensuous colors. That's what you need. And white or beige, neither of them is that. They're sterile, they're neutral, they're emotionless. Again, when you think about it, neutrality is the opposite of passion. You want colors that conjure passion in your bedroom. So
no, it's something I never thought of before. It makes perfect sense. So if you're going to give me, and I hate to do this, it sounds like a journalist question, but if I'm a woman and I'm neutral on all this new information, what are the top 2-3 colors that you say would do a woman well to consider within the structure of the way her home already exists? Because you don't want to have her throw out her entire house, but this is important.
No, see, that's where the question you asked me earlier comes in. I can't do that.
Oh, because it's about them.
Exactly.
Got it.
For me, it could be a wine red plus this mocha plus this other one. For you, it could be like wine red. No way. It could be something else. But it's a process I take you through.
Got it.
We will identify the right colors for you within the spectrum of colors that'll do the trick.
Okay. Perfectly good answer. And the right one. I mean, you don't want to give someone some sort of magic pill.
Exactly. That doesn't work for them.
No, again, it's all personal, right? You're giving universal advice and trying to help people apply it to them. So
absolutely.
Similarly, we talk about something that's universal. We're talking about how a bedroom is this sort of cauldron for love, romance, sleep, right? It's a personal sanctuary. What happens if someone who's listening is not in a relationship? The majority of our listeners, that's why they're turning to a dating coach, aren't in a relationship with a guy. How does this benefit them?
Absolutely. So what I say to people is one of the saddest things I see, Evan, is where a woman is struggling in her relationship, whether it's, the intimacy is not there, they've, drifted apart, she's scrambling, she's might be even suspecting him of trolling some inappropriate sites online and so on. Basically, things are falling apart. And of course, we know that there are several reasons why a relationship could be falling apart. But atmosphere, mood, and decor, that's the hidden X factor that most people are not even aware of. So what I simply want to do is get this on people's radar, along with everything else that they learn and they work on to make sure their relationships are great. I'm saying to you, don't wait until you find that guy, get married. You want this relationship, you're smart, you hire a top coach like Evan, he helps you, you snag the guy, and then you're going to throw it all away because you couldn't take the time to learn about the importance of decor. I'm saying don't do that. Learn this thing now. Make it a part of your life. Evan, real quick, I know you mentioned something about, you touched on something that was actually really important, which I was going to get to. The fact that when you're dating, it comes a time where you have to invite the other party to your home, at least. I'm not even talking your bedroom for now. Just invite them over. Because I don't know about you. If I were a guy, I want you to tell me what you think. I don't think I could put myself in the position of a long-term relationship with a woman until I've seen how she is in her environment. That's just me.
It's funny. I think it probably operates on a more subconscious level than a conscious one. And it might be sociology, just how we're brought up, where men are not as attentive to the details of home decor. And there could be a great guy who's got like nothing on his walls or no picture. This guy's just kind of clueless. It's very, very different. Women are much better at creating atmosphere, not in every situation, but I think there's a lot of men who are clueless, and therefore they're probably a little bit less judgmental of a woman. I would actually say a woman's more likely to be judgmental of another woman than a man is to be judgmental.
Totally, and judgmental of herself, because you know the problem I found, and I don't know if women have confided this in you, is many women are embarrassed to bring that date to their house because they are not quite comfortable. And like you said, he may not even, think anything of it, but they're judging themselves and they're saying, I don't know if this is good enough. So I'm saying, whether you're married or not, before you ever even start dating, let's get your home atmosphere together. Besides, Evan, isn't it something you say, you and other top dating coaches, about, look, it's not about you sitting there waiting for some guy to come rescue you. Build a life you love that he would want to be a part of. Create a lifestyle, a quality of lifestyle that the kind of guy you want would want to be a part of. So let's get this thing going with your decor. Don't wait till you're married. That's what I say.
How long does a project like this take? For me, it sounds very daunting because it's not in my wheelhouse. It's not my skill set. Right. The thought, I would sooner move homes than to redo my kitchen. Right? I would sooner buy another house that has a better kitchen. So this all sounds a little intimidating. How do you make this less intimidating, quicker, cheaper? What should someone expect in terms of when they could see and start to feel the things you're talking about?
Absolutely. You're right, because this is one of the top questions I get from people. They're like, oh, first up, I'm not thinking about decorating my home right now. They tell me this is intriguing information, but I'm not thinking about decorating right now. And it's going to be too expensive. It's going to be too hard. But I say, not on my watch. First off, my methods, my information, the first thing it does is help you to assess and identify what's working for you in your home and what's not. So regardless of whether you do anything with it right now, at least you know, so that one item at a time, you can change things. You can say, okay, you know what? I'm going to change the color, or I'm going to change this, I'm going to change that. And you just do that on your own terms at your own pace. So it's not like you have to go out and do some crazy big overhaul. And then the same way, my information will help you to identify the colors, the materials, the lighting, the imagery that's going to work for you. So that again, one item at a time, you can add those things. So for instance, the next time you're thinking of buying a table, a rug, a sofa, when you've gone through this program and done the work, you'll know almost immediately, Evan, whether it'll have a positive or negative impact. But now you're just kind of like, going blind, buying this and buying that and creating.
I get it. I'm thinking of something personal. One of the reasons I married my wife is she wasn't freaked out by me being a dating coach. Right? I went out with other women who said, oh my God, you must have gone out with so many people. Do you take everybody here? Are you doing this for research? And it made a really big deal about it. And I'm thinking how it would be to go out with you and be like, oh my God, she's just judging everything in my home. Like I would be afraid to invite you over here for dinner, even though I probably will. I'd be afraid of all the things that you're thinking because you see things that I don't see.
Isn't that awful? Martha Stewart said the same thing, that people are afraid to have her over because they're thinking, oh my gosh, she's going to be judging. And though, when I go to people's homes, they do that to me. They're like, okay, Bumi, tell me what's wrong. No, I'm not. I'm not here for that. You know what I mean? I'm just going to relax and we're going to have a good time. So that's what that is.
I want to take another break before we get to some interesting questions about how your work compares with feng shui. Because to sort of a casual listener, it sounds like it's talking about the same principles, but I have a feeling there's more than meets the eye. So I've already learned a lot in the short time that we've been together on this podcast, and I hope you've enjoyed it so far. We're going to go a step deeper right now and try to distinguish Bumi's premises, ethos, technology, whatever you call her systems, and how that differs from the ancient Chinese feng shui, which people talk about, how you position things in your room has an effect on your mood. This is a creation that's all your own. How do you distinguish those two for someone who, a layperson, doesn't understand either of them?
Absolutely. So the way I put it is, feng shui is based on Chinese tradition, astrology, and metaphysics. Those are the three prongs of feng shui. But my work is design psychology. To define it, design psychology is obviously a scientific study of how places, such as our homes and offices, affect our feelings and behavior. And because places affect our feelings and behavior, they'll affect our relationships, they'll affect our productivity, everything. In other words, if a place makes you feel depressed, what's your productivity going to be like there? If a room or we just talked about restaurants that make you feel romantic. If your bedroom doesn't make you feel romantic, how does that impact your love life? So your decor is affecting your life 24/7, and we've just got to deal with it. So, but again, mine is from a scientific standpoint. I'm sorry.
No, it begs the next obvious question, which is, I have no reason to doubt you, but where is the science that says, yeah, this actually makes a qualitative difference in how you feel about yourself, how men feel in your presence? I mean, it's not that again, I'm a natural skeptic. It's not that I doubt that it's true, because it makes logical sense, but have people really studied this?
Oh, totally. There are tons of studies. And for the first time, I'm excited to bring these studies to the mainstream. Let's look at a study, a Cornell University study, that found that having mirrors in a room could actually help you to eat healthier. It's like, of all things, right? Well, so in this study, students enjoyed eating cake much less in a room with mirrors than in a room without mirrors. So the idea is that, it's normally difficult for us to objectively judge and control our behavior in real time. The cake is mouth-watering, the fries are irresistible, and then we just give in. But seeing ourselves in a mirror makes us more mindful. It's sort of like, I see this person in the mirror, scarfing down cake, and I'm thinking, who's that person gobbling down cake? Is that me? Oh my goodness. And suddenly, subconsciously, the cake just doesn't taste quite as good. It sort of helps me to check myself. It's, again, you're seeing yourself almost like another person. And so
do you read behavioral economics books?
I read all kinds of behavioral science books.
Because that's really what this sounds like. I got like a whole library of behavioral economics book, how we decide, and thinking fast and slow, and predictably irrational. And I'm sort of wondering how that factors into what you're doing here. Because it is, I like the concept of design psychology. You're the expert. Like, have any of these things influenced the way you do your job?
Evan, totally. Because again, when I started my search, thinking, gosh, why do I feel this way in this place? And this place makes me feel bad. This one makes me feel romantic. How can I harness that and use that in design? I read almost every book I could, find that had anything to do with psychology, knowing also that studies say, Evan, that up to 90% of our choices are based on our feelings and emotions, not even our logic, really.
Yes.
So I realized, if our surroundings are affecting our feelings and emotions, and our behavior is driven by that, I better hone in and figure out how this works. So totally, I read as many books as I can find on the subject.
So you gave me something interesting, and it helps to illustrate a point, but I'm gonna box you in a little bit more. Yes, having mirrors makes me feel like a glutton, so I'm likely to eat less. There's actually a really interesting study that says the more people that are at the table, the more you're going to eat. If you eat by yourself versus eating with someone, right. If you have 4 people sitting at dinner, if you have 8 people or a big Thanksgiving dinner, essentially the more people there are, the more food that's on the table, and the longer you linger, you will literally eat twice as much
totally
with a big family meal than you will if you're just having lunch by yourself. Totally. So I always find those things interesting. Let's bring it back to the core here, which is your love life, the bedroom.
Right.
Do people let them study how often they get laid when they have a red bedroom? I mean, like, how do we pinpoint how this works in your, with what we're telling all these single women, right? Where's the science on that?
Right. And again, the science surrounds this. As you can imagine, it's a little more difficult to survey people in their bedroom, their activities and so on and so forth. But there's a lot of science surrounding it. So here's one for you. A famous study that was conducted in a Seattle penitentiary, of all places, right? Where
romantic,
yeah,
in a certain way.
So what they did was they painted the gray concrete cell walls pink. And immediately, the inmates were significantly less hostile and aggressive because the color was changed. So again, I'm not saying paint your bedroom pink. I would personally never even do that.
You should see my daughter's room. It looks like Pepto-Bismol threw up.
Yeah, but that's her. That's for her.
No, that's actually that's my wife. My daughter didn't paint her room. My wife painted the room.
Okay. But so the thing is, though, that color affects your level of serenity. The question I ask people is are the colors of your bedroom carefully chosen to make you and your spouse feel calm and relaxed and romantic, or are they secretly triggering tension? Because again, there is science showing that one color will make you feel tense, another will help you feel relaxed, another one would make you feel romantic, and so on and so forth. Okay.
So exactly how does your work help listeners rekindle romance and improve their love lives? I mean, that's sort of the $64,000 question is, okay, this is all super interesting. What's the tangible effect, that you've seen in your work?
Absolutely.
Working for your high-end clients. I mean, I'm sure, it's anecdotal evidence that later becomes science.
Absolutely. So, again, what I've done is all these years using my 7 steps to serve select high-end clients. And now I've taken those 7 steps and a painstaking process of translating them into 7 lessons that anyone can use to turn their bedroom from nice but regular to sensuous, magical, and sizzling. The kind of bedroom that would add pizzazz to your love life. That's what I've done. So I'm going to run through the 7 steps real quick.
Sure.
Just to give you a sense. The first one, as I mentioned earlier, lesson 1 is titled, "This popular color may be sucking the excitement out of your life and love life." And we talked about the popular color is white and its cousins, right? Beige and so on. And I go into much more detail about how, do you know that in your bedroom, because you're horizontal much of the time, your ceiling is almost as important as the walls. But even in bedrooms, Evan, where people paint their walls an off-white, a non-white color, unfortunately, most of the time the ceiling remains white. Because whether you realize it or not, the ceiling is probably the last thing you see before you fall asleep and the first thing you see when you wake up. So you're waking up to this blank expanse of ceiling. So I talk about that and what you should do about it. In a nutshell, in that particular lesson, I show you how to use color to transform your bedroom into this cozy and sensual space. Lesson 2 is titled, "How to Create an Aura of Escape and Fantasy in Your Bedroom." And okay, this is not a secret sequel to 50 Shades of Grey, okay? What I'm talking about is...
Gray doesn't sound like one of those colors for your bedroom.
No, like, oh, fantasy escape, what is this? Is this a porn show? No. What I'm talking about, Evan, is the fact that in the course of the normal day, we spend much of our waking hours dealing with, the often harsh realities of everyday life, kids carpool, homework, career, money. And whether you realize it or not, these stresses and concerns, they follow you into your bedroom at the end of the day. That's just the reality. What I do for you in this lesson is use lighting and materials to create a somewhat dreamy ambience that almost seems to cast a spell on you and gives you an escape from the stresses of your everyday life. That's what that is.
Sounds nice. And there's 5 more?
There's 5 more.
This sounds like a lot of... It's a lot to think about.
It is a lot. It's a lot of good stuff for people. And it's something that clients pay me tens of thousands of dollars for, but I want to make this available to everyone. I feel that everybody deserves sensuous, dreamy bedroom. Not only people who can afford to pay thousands of dollars. So that's what this is.
I'm feeling like I'm going to have to get this myself. I didn't expect that at the beginning of the call, but I kind of have to get a look at this. Where could people find more about you and your programs?
Absolutely. www.designyourmood.com. That's what I want to do.
There's going to be a link below this on the podcast page and on YouTube, so people could click directly there to learn more. And what will they discover when they get there?
Oh my goodness. Again, how they can try. Well, first of all, there are a couple of programs on there. One of them is this program for the bedroom called Magical Escape, the new science of decorating your bedroom to rejuvenate you and rekindle your romance. And then there's a foundational program, which is called Transform Your Home, Transform Your Mood, the new science of decorating your home to make you feel happy, calm, and productive.
Oh, it sounds like a Today Show title. It just sounds so perfect.
It's so, and don't be surprised when you see me on the Today Show shortly, because that will happen too.
I was going to say, it sounds like the kind of thing I could picture, Matt Lauer holding up this book.
Coming up next, right?
Yes. Right? Like I'd watch those 3 minutes so that's really amazing stuff, Bumi. I want to thank you so much for being a guest and sharing your wisdom. And again, it's just so unique, and it so dovetails with everything that I'm doing here. And so I'm just very grateful that you reached out to me, and that you have a message that I'm really excited about spreading.
Thank you so much. What an exciting morning. More exciting than I anticipated. Thank you so much.
Come on. What do you expect from me? The bar was so low. All I had to do is this.
Oh no, trust me. This has been pretty incredible.
Well, I think you acquitted yourself very well, and people would be very lucky to learn more about how to design their mood and ensure a positive experience for every man who enters the bedroom, which is a nice goal in and of itself. So I want to thank you for being here. Let's have lunch soon.
Totally. Thank you.
All right, my friend. Thank you. And this is still Evan Marc Katz. That was Bumi, Lauren, Kristen. Fun podcast. Next week, I am posing and answering the question, should you move in with him before you get married? There's lots of thoughts about the virtues of cohabitation. I'm going to explore them next week with a few of my thoughts and a few callers. If you enjoy this podcast, don't be shy. Go to www.evanmarckatz.com/podcast guest to see my upcoming topics and ask questions. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and on YouTube. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. And most importantly, if you enjoy this stuff, all this free stuff, go to evanmarckatz.com. Give me your name and email address. I will send you free dating and relationship advice until you no longer need free dating and relationship advice. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I can't wait to get you the love you deserve. I will see you next week on the Love You Podcast.